Hey guys, it's Matt with Tips for Truckers, and I hear all the time these four-wheelers, these people, that means people driving cars, always wondering what's it like being a truck driver, all these misconceptions and questions that they have. So today I'm going to answer 20 of the most common, frequently asked questions and misconceptions about truck drivers. Now, I don't want to waste your time, so let's get right into it. Lot lizards. Let's start off on a banger. Lot lizards, I haven't seen one in over 12 years, and that's in 14 years of truck driving. I personally just don't see them. I don't know if it's because I don't go into large cities or what, but look, we don't all have a dead lot lizard in the back of our sleeper or whatever. Speaking of sleeper, the sleeper, yes, we do sleep in the back. Basically, it's just a bed, a little place to stand, a couple shelves, refrigerator, and a closet or two, maybe some more storage. Some trucks have a second bed because there's team drivers. One person drives, one person sleeps or whatever. But most trucks just have one bed in it, and that's basically it. Just a twin bed, closet, refrigerator, storage, and that's it back there. But we do sleep, no bathroom. Next, a lot of people think we just drive the truck and then we stop, and then we drive the truck and then we stop, for the whole duration of the day. No, we'll stop in the middle of the day, we'll load, we'll unload, we'll fuel up, we'll have repairs, we'll stop for lunch, something like that. So usually I stop between 3 and 4, maybe 5 times a day. And like I said, some of that is loading and unloading, getting lunch, just checking the truck out, make sure everything's fit. The next thing is, the truck stops are dirty. Look, if truck stops were dirty and filthy, look, they wouldn't get any business. They're looking for that moolah, okay? So they are out here trying to make money. They want to have a clean place, and most truck stops, especially the big name truck stops, are pretty nice. They're basically turned into just gas stations. Used to have more accommodations for us truck drivers, but I mean, it is what it is. So usually they got a little place to eat, they got stuff for your truck, and then but I noticed the gas station side, every truck stop has gas pumps, and that's a lot bigger. I see way more just people gassing up, just four-wheelers and truck stops and truck drivers actually inside. Next, Buc-ee's is not a truck stop. They don't allow trucks, it's just cars. Everybody thinks that Buc-ee's is a truck stop. I don't get it. Have you ever seen a truck in there? No. I'll answer your question. No, you haven't. Just RVs. Now, how often do we fuel? Speaking of truck stops, how often do we fuel? Well, probably once a day or once every 2 days, depending on how much you're driving. My truck has relatively small fuel tanks, 100 gallons apiece. Trucks usually get 5 miles per gallon, so that's a bonus answer there. See, how long do we stay on the road at times? I stay out for 2 weeks at a time, maybe 3 weeks, never more. Now, there's a big misconception that we stay out for months at a time. There are some that do, but most guys are out for 2 weeks, and there's jobs out there for everybody. You could be home every weekend, every other day, called regional, or you could be home every night, called local. Let's see, food. Now, a lot of people think that we're always eating at restaurants and getting biscuits and gravy or whatever. That was probably true when I first started 14 years ago, but not at all. Nowadays, we just got fast food basically anywhere. And yeah, a handful of truckers know about a handful of really good restaurants that we're not going to tell anybody about because, the people make enough of a mess of these fast food restaurants. Next, speed. Okay, a lot of people think this is the biggest thing. When truck drivers are passing each other, we're doing it to piss you off. Most trucks are just set at 65 miles an hour. And now I know you say, or whatever they're set at, between 65 and 70. And I know what you say, we'll just slow down and stay behind that guy. Well, we'll need to pass him eventually if we're going faster. Otherwise, we'll go slower than this guy, and then, we'll be doing 64. And then, and then someone will get in front of us and they're doing 63. And then eventually, we're going to lose a lot of time throughout the day, and we only have so long to drive. Next thing, drugs. I don't know any truck driver who has ever done drugs or does drugs while they're driving, or even extracurricularly. I just made that word up. But at home, that I've never personally ever seen a truck driver ever do drugs, period. That's a complete misconception. The other thing is it's male dominated. It's only men driving trucks. That's absolutely not true. When I started, it was probably about 10%. Now it's closer to 15% women. I see them all the time. Women do a great job driving trucks. Shout out to all my ladies out there. Now, speaking of that, educated. They think we're poorly educated. I probably know personally more truck drivers with at least a bachelor's degree. I know civil engineers that turn to be truck drivers. I know because it paid more, believe it or not. I know people with masters. I know a guy got two specialist degrees, and is driving a truck and loves it, and he turned down his bougie life to be a truck driver. Speaking of educated, we are also pretty clean cut. Most truck drivers, now you see every now and then one going in the truck stop with pajamas, flip-flops, or whatever, but you see that in the public too. And this is one thing that I think you guys need to understand is truck drivers are basically the exact same as the general public. Just we're looking for the best job that they can get. It's a plentiful job, easy to get. May have fell on hard times in their sector, whatever. But a lot of us are really clean cut, and that goes on to my next one, showers. There are showers in most truck stops. So what happens is we got this, fuel card, and whenever we fuel, they give us a free shower or whatever. Everybody has different point systems. And we just take a shower at the truck stop whenever we can. Usually it's at least every other day. Sometimes you can't do it every day, but most truck drivers try and take a shower every single day. Now the next thing is money. Money. I don't know why I was trying to be cute there. Basically, if you figure it out per hour while you're driving, we get paid about that, average salary. But we're working 60, 70 hours a week. So at the end of the year, we can get paid $80, $90, $100,000. But if you look at it per hour, and especially if you figure all the time with repairs and fueling up and loading and unloading and all that you don't get paid for, those are things that you do not get paid for. That's another one, bonus. It ends up being about $30 an hour on average, maybe 35, maybe 28, depending on your skill level and how good of a company you're working for and how hard you're willing to work. Speaking of that, very, very few owner-operators in trucking anymore. We're almost all company drivers. It's just not that profitable to be an owner-operator. And most people say, I just want to get in a truck, get a job, be able to leave there anytime, just like me. And I don't want the hassle of having to maintain the truck and the risk of, it breaking down. You make a little bit more money, but most guys say, okay, I'm not that business oriented. I'm probably going to get swindled in some of these contracts, and that's absolutely true. It happens all the time. Next one, CB. We don't talk on a CB anymore. I'll flip this on. You'll never hear anybody, and I'm in a crowded truck stop. But we don't talk on the CB at all anymore. Most truck drivers don't even have one. So in the inclement weather, they're out of luck or whatever. But I still have one and might hear it, 5 times a day, hear someone say something. But speaking of that, everybody says, oh, do you have a bunch of trucker buddies trucker buddies that you talk to on the CB across the country? CB only goes out a or so, maybe 2 if you have a good one. But no, most of us don't have a whole lot of trucker buddies. We're not like a brotherhood or, or whatever. I don't know if it used to be that way. It hasn't been since I started. I probably got 3 trucker friends in my phone that I talk to all the time. And I got regular 4-wheeler friends too. And that really passes the time. Just talking on the phone, put this Bluetooth on, man, helps you get down the road. And that brings me on to my next one. Last one, loneliness. Do we get lonely driving a truck? Well, I'm sure a lot of us do. But you know what? It's not any lonelier than going to an empty house at the end of the night. It's almost worse because going to an empty house every night, you're going to the same house. At least you're stopping in different places every night, which kind of, changes things, flips things up a little bit. But I don't see a big loneliness epidemic in truck drivers. Generally, if you're getting into this, you're a loner. I'm not, but you get used to it, which I did. And I just don't see a bunch of truckers being all lonely or whatever, because you go inside the truck stop and you interact with people. You can kind of modulate how much you would like to interact with people, which is nice. You're not forced to constantly, be real social all day, which good for some, not good for others. I love being social, but I love not being obligated. But that is the 20 biggest frequently asked questions and misconceptions about truck drivers that I've found.